So we are now starting the recording. Welcome everybody to Sell Your Client a Mobile App with Creator. I know we use the word webinar, but this is going to be really untraditional compared to other webinars that you might have been on. As you can tell, we're all kind of just sitting here chilling. We're going to be answering questions that you guys have on sales tactics, both using Creator and sales tactics for small, medium, and large size businesses in general to sell your clients' mobile apps. If you guys ever have a question, use the Blab question feature. Just click that little slash button in the bottom right of your screen, and that will show you how to use the questions feature, so it's easy for us to answer all that stuff. So I guess let's introduce ourselves and get started.
Let's do it.
My name is Matt Kramer. I'm the project lead for the Creator project.
I'm Tim Knott. I am co-founder of Mobile Igniter, and I'm not as short as I look. He's just got a really high chair.
I do have a very high chair.
I'm Max Lynch, co-founder of Ionic.
There you go. So today, we did have a blog post about this whole process. And actually, now that I think about it, let me link you guys all to this right now. The blog post was released a couple of weeks ago on how to sell your client a mobile app, specifically using Creator and some of the tactics that Creator allows you to do, like preview via Creator Mobile, and use those techniques to sell to small, medium-sized businesses. I guess a little bit of what's up?
Yeah, no, I wanted to quickly just recap the idea behind this talk.
Go for it.
So a lot of people are building pretty serious mobile apps for big clients, and to actually hook them, there's a lot of upfront work, and that can be really costs a lot of time and money, and it's pretty risky. So Creator ends up being this really great tool to build prototypes quickly and actually preview them as if they're real apps. So you're jumping past the wireframing, and you're actually getting something real that might very well be the actual app you build. It gives you code too. So we're trying to just kind of get people in the mindset of switching from wireframing into actually building something, prototyping quickly, and using that to sell. So
yeah, and the word that a lot of companies use for this is kind of called speculative work, which is work that you as a company do to get a client, but before that client has actually paid you any money or told you they're going to give you any money. So a lot of companies, especially consultants, do not do spec work. They don't do work where they're like, oh yeah, we'll mock you up a preview of your whole app and show it to you, and then you can decide if you buy it, because there's so much wasted time in that process. And things like Creator allow you to actually do spec work by making that amount of time needed really, really small.
Nice. What's that say down there? On the first app, we were 99% perfect from Creator. It was amazing. Would love to hear more about that. So it sounds like you were able to get an app built from Creator that was kind of almost pretty much 99% ready to go and approved.
Was that a matter of it also kicked out most of the code you needed, or is it just that the customer liked all the features that you put in?
Yeah, maybe we can have you up there. If you're up
do you want to chat with us? If you want to grab a square, I can unlock it quick for you, man. I can't tell if that yes was to our questions or if the yes was to I'll grab a seat.
Okay, well, maybe just unlock it and see.
I'll unlock the seat. We'll see if you join, man. Yeah, so anyways, as Creator grows, it's something where our goal is to get you closer to that 99%, I think. Our goal is to get you to a point where you're almost done by the end of Creator. A little bit of, I don't know if we've talked publicly about it at all, but one of the next major features we're going to add to Creator is actually code support from within the tool. So JavaScript controllers right in the tool to, start getting you more dynamic and get you a lot better with that kind of stuff, with actually getting you to that 99%.
So Tim, do you want to just give people a little bit of background about what you guys do, how you approach speculative work? Maybe talk about Creator and how it's helped you out.
Yeah, we've been doing this since back in the Codiga days. I mean, that was the reason that I used Codiga personally, because as a developer, I didn't necessarily really need a drag and drop editor so much. But if I wanted to show a client something really quickly, I would throw something together really fast, show them, and actually they'd be able to touch through it. And they were amazed. How'd you do this so quickly? I'm like, well, the reality is that there's still a lot of work to do. The logic still isn't there and that kind of thing. But they could get their mind around what the app was going to be in a heartbeat, and they'd be really willing to buy. And we're still a mobile company, but now we do a lot more with Internet of Things. And we've actually sold IoT projects using Creator, because we go in and show them a mock-up of what the IoT would look like coming through to the mobile side. So what is the UI of this product going to be like? And then we actually never, like the last client that we sold using Creator in IoT, we never actually even made them an app. I mean, it was like we hooked them on the concept of what was going to happen, and then we ended up building something else completely different.
Interesting.
But
So
it's even
in the door.
Yeah. And like that's the part I like about this so much is it just creates more of an emotional connection, I think, with the sales process when you can hold something in your hand and like actually play with it and feel with it. And yeah, normally it's like it's really hard to get to that point, even with prototyping tools or like having a full-time designer like mock this stuff up costs you money.
Right.
While using something like Creator is much easier to get that into their hand.
Right.
Well, so Ben, who's one of the co-founders here of Ionic, when we started the company, we were actually, before we did Ionic, we did this thing called Codica. Some of you might know what it is, but it's a similar drag and drop tool, but for jQuery mobile. And the reason we built it was Ben was a designer at an agency, and he would do these big elaborate mock-ups, wireframing, Photoshop design, but then to actually go and build it, you had to just give all these assets to the developer, and they would start over from scratch. So if you were using jQuery mobile, and if you're using Ionic with Creator, the idea is you're doing that prototyping and mocking up, but it's actually giving you actual code that you would write yourself. So you can go and just start to build it. So the whole reason was it was empowering that first step of the process. So it wasn't just kind of like speculative stuff. It was actually building something real. You were investing in real assets.
Yeah. In our side, we didn't have a designer on staff. We always outsource our design because designers tend to like to be freelance anyway. So we built our business around that. We're going to hire developers, outsource design. And so when we wanted to sell on spec, we couldn't have somebody Photoshop it. That would have cost us way too much money.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we would just have whoever wasn't busy throw something together and spit it back out. I mean, you put the client's logo inside of a mock-up and they're like, what? I mean,
yeah. And that's an important,
right.
That's an important thing to note and really drive home. I think, I know we just kind of mentioned that in the random discussion, but like making the app feel like it's actually your client's app is one of the most important things you can do for sales, in my opinion.
And it's really easy with Creator. I mean, if you have an app that you just showed to somebody else, you're basically just putting in a logo.
Just change the logo.
Make sure you change everything out. I have done that. I've made that mistake where
I have a different client at the bottom. Yeah, don't do that.
They're like, you've done this before. Yes, we've done this. Showed credibility. But I mean, yeah, you're changing a couple of CSS styles and suddenly the entire thing is now yellow and black instead of red and white. So yeah, it's really cool that way.
Yeah, using their colors, flipping out their logo, things like that. I know when back when I had my own consultancy, we targeted a lot of restaurants, and we actually got like very ingrained in the local restaurant community, where everyone started coming to us for these projects because we knew we could do it cheaper than anybody else, and we could help them out. Now this was actual websites, so we were doing like WordPress. Mm-hmm. But what we would do is they already heard we were good from our previous clients that we started doing for like $500. They're pretty cheap. But then we move up and be like, okay, here's 3 templates you have to choose from. If you had to pick one, what would you pick? And then we take that one. They were pre-made, so we'd like buy the template for $75, put their content in it, which took us an hour or two maybe, and then showed it to them and be like, is this something you'd like for your thing? The sale's almost done. Like, because you're already so close to that 99% at that mark. And Creator is what allows you to do that same process for mobile apps instead of websites.
So one thing that I think is interesting is a lot of people have kind of started using Balsamiq and doing wireframing. And I love Balsamiq. Like I use it on my own for a variety of reasons. But I find that when you're actually ready to, like you kind of know what you're building. So you're building an app. And an app kind of looks like an app. It uses these UI elements that people are familiar with. So I don't know if wireframing is really as useful for mobile app development anymore, especially because you can kind of put together something that's like the end user can actually understand. Like, oh, it looks like an app that I'm used to. So I can imagine like my logo, I can imagine my list items and my tabs, but like the wireframe is almost too far away from it that I don't know if it always helps you in mobile.
I think it's kind of a 50-50 thing. I think anybody out there right now who's a UX designer is like screaming through the internet, like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I love Balsamiq, don't get me wrong.
Right. And one of the problems that we've actually had is that we'll show somebody something we've done in Creator, and they're like, they think it's done. Yeah. And so part of it is that they get a little bit nervous about, well, but I want this color and I want this and I want like, okay, let's step back. And that's actually just a really good indicator that it's time to step back into more of a UX mode. Sure. But if you've got a customer who wants it fast and inexpensive, they're going to be all about like just bam, bam, bam. Let's skip over that entire process.
That's a good point.
Yeah. We got a couple questions. We want to dive into a question or two real quick. So somebody said we were talking about like swapping out the logo, swapping out information about the client, things like that. Deborah asked, what about using tokens to replace client information? With the code support that we're working on putting into Creator right now, that's definitely something that we're going to allow you to do. We're going to allow you to edit those controllers. In the controller, you could have, a JSON list of data related to the client, and you could put that right into Creator. So you could literally just change that JavaScript and have the whole app update. That's definitely something that is part of our goal for this next major feature that we're launching, for sure.
Good. Yeah, so that'll be like template placeholders.
Yep, template placeholders. So you put like client, double brackets, client name, and then in JavaScript, you'd set the client name to whoever.
And on that note, I think the workflow there would be you build one template and then in the dashboard, just duplicate the project every time and then change those variables. That would work really well.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. A couple other questions that weren't necessarily asked via the questions feature, but a couple I wanted to hit on just to confirm some things. Oh, whoops. One of them was. If I can find it. Okay. Somebody asked about SaaS support, SaaS and theming support. Definitely something that we are super aware we need to have in Creator. That is the next major feature we will be doing after code support. And with that SaaS, we're going to have some crazy stuff available for themes in Creator where, if you want to edit all of Ionic SaaS and like have it recompile in Creator and change the whole app, we're going to let you do that. If you want like a drop down to change all default button colors, we're going to let you do that. And then with that, that's actually going to start to allow designers to kind of save themes in Creator, which might turn out to be a Creator theme marketplace where somebody puts in custom Ionic SaaS, hits save, uploads it to the Creator marketplace, and then those themes are accessed to everybody. So like this is definitely stuff that we are going to add to make everybody's life easier for sure.
Yeah, and about material design, that's you'll kind of get some of that with the Android support in V1, but Ionic 2 support is coming, and the material design is much more part of V2. So you'll get an improved material design look and feel here pretty soon.
Yeah, so on that note, one of the questions was, what about Creator for Ionic 2? Definitely on the roadmap, definitely something we're super excited about. Right now, we just want to make sure that Creator for V1 is stable and feature complete. As we can already see, people are asking about SaaS support, code support, things like that. Like those are all integral features to Creator that I would like in there before we tackle essentially a whole nother language. But still very high on the priority list. I'd put it probably at number 3 behind code support and SaaS support, and then V2.
Sure.
Cool. All right, so we dumped a little bit into Creator there. Thanks for the question, guys. So keep them coming. Let us know if you have any sales questions about this whole process too.
So to answer my ignorance, so like you're talking about going into Ionic 2, which is based on Angular 2, which is also a little bit early, maybe. What do you think?
I think the release cycle for Angular 2 and Ionic 2 is actually going to be coming up pretty quickly. Like I think by the time people realize it, they'll both be 2.0 release stable.
Mm-hmm.
So this summer.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's coming up quickly. RCs are both on the very short-term roadmap.
Sweet.
So by the time we implement it, I think it'll be stable.
Yeah, it'll be stable enough that we're comfortable with it in Creator for sure.
Good.
So one thing that I was hoping to get out of this as well is to hear from, you all in the Blab. Have you used Creator for your own kind of client sales process for consultant development, building apps for other clients? If you have any experiences with it or other tools like it, definitely let us know. We'd love to talk about some of those experiences too.
Yeah, for sure. If anyone is like I said, if anyone's used Creator for selling mobile apps or gotten to the 99% point, 90% point, let us know in that chat and we can unlock the seat and you guys can talk to it too. And we can chat about it for sure. All right. So anything else Creator specific before maybe we dive into general sales? I guess I want to talk a little bit about the Creator mobile app.
Yes, of course.
Because the Creator mobile app is my baby. It's honest to God, I say it's my favorite feature in Creator is our mobile app, which allows you to literally make changes in Creator. So like change a button color, and then click a button on your actual phone and have it show up right on your phone immediately. There's no download process. There's no upload process. It literally lets you preview right on your phone. So that actually lets you take these completely like non-technical creator mock-up prototypes and then literally hand your phone to a client and say, here, touch this. It's already on the phone. And that experience is super powerful. We've already talked about that a little bit. And with Creator Mobile, like we try to make that as seamless as possible. That Creator Mobile is something that's on our pro and team plans.
Yeah, so Creator Mobile is really cool because it kind of shows the power of Ionic and like web mobile apps because you can just load them dynamically and edit them, and it all just kind of updates. But it actually is like a mini app store. So if you have a bunch of clients and you have their apps on your phone, you can carry that around on iOS.
Yeah, it's like your portfolio in your pocket.
Your portfolio. You can go to a new client, even if you didn't build them something. You could say, oh, here's like, an example of my work. You could really quickly prototype something, get it on your phone in a couple of minutes. I think it's one of my favorite features as well.
It's hands down my favorite feature. I love that feature. Yeah. So Bri Wolf in the chat here says we started using Creator over Envision, and it was a huge improvement. They were shocked to see it on the Creator mobile app. So yeah, it's a totally different experience when you have it in your hand. And part of that too is even in the Creator editor right now, we just added phone skins to the desktop client as well, which yet again is just another tiny little feature that makes it feel a little bit more real, even when you're on the desktop, for sure.
And it also plays into the share feature, the preview feature.
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar, you can easily send people a link of the actual prototype, and they can view it on the web as well. And if they visit that through a browser, like through their email or whatever, they'll see the app just the same. So you're getting the same experience on the actual native environment and on the web as well. And with the code editing coming down the pipeline, I think it'll be pretty easy to start doing native, like take camera photos and such.
Oh yeah, for sure.
From Creator and script all that and have it actually be a working app.
For sure. And I mean, I'm gonna brainstorm a little bit here on some future features. We really want to enable you guys from Creator to use it this way, to use it as a tool in your business to get you more sales, to make you more money. Like we are here to enable you and make you guys successful. So long term, like I'm even thinking like, things that are very popular on a mobile app side, like loyalty programs. Mm-hmm. Creator might wind up having like a loyalty program widget that you can just add straight in your Creator prototype and have it work. Like we want to get you there. We want to help you guys and be successful. So, I mean, that's all stuff that we're super excited about having.
And on that note, things like form data.
Yeah.
Like easily storing form data.
Yeah. Like, for like customer support requests or things like that, like just fill out this form, hit go. And then like, you get a notification on your phone and call them up. Like all this stuff, we want to make it super easy for you guys to do in Creator. Because like that's our goal, is to enable you guys to be successful, for sure.
You really just hit on a really good point too about mobile apps, and that is that when you're selling to whatever company, whether it's a small business or an enterprise, you can really talk about how these apps are not just about the basic things that you think about apps for, but like talking about customer support. You can sell into their customer support aspect. You can sell into their sales aspect. You can talk to their marketing team. You can talk to their engineering team. Every aspect of a company can really benefit from having a customer-facing mobile application.
Mm-hmm. Even internal mobile apps.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A lot of companies, like for instance, I mean, there's already a ton of stuff that exists for this, but like if you went into a restaurant and were like, let me make you a custom point of sale system, like that's something that you could easily do with Ionic for sure.
Right.
Might even be cheaper than them buying one. I don't know. I don't know about this market.
I think you're right. I mean, it's a good point in that there's a lot of products out there that are ripe for disruption. Mobile is probably the right product for it. Like for us in the IoT space, a combination of mobile and sensors. And there's, because a POS system costs thousands of dollars. They're very complicated. A lot of them are super outdated in terms of technology. Yeah. And there's all these things happening like NFC pay and all this other stuff that they just can't do. So,
yeah. I'm just throwing out ideas now. So like this, you guys are hearing like the long-term vision for what we want Creator to be able to do. And like this selling your client mobile apps with Creator, like is a huge part of our long-term vision, I would say.
Yeah.
is enabling these kinds of features for you guys.
That's some good news from Venezuela.
So I already sold 2 apps using Ionic Creator to show a demo to the client. So that's great.
That's awesome. So that's two in the bank.
Well,
Yep.
Yeah, 3. There's some more.
2 in the bank. So yeah, I already sold 2 apps using Ionic Creator to show a demo to clients. Yeah, we got people excited about the cloud source, stuff like that.
Yeah, I can tell you that like we're a small software development firm, and we've gone up against heavy hitters in our locally, and the fact that we can show things on a phone so fast has kind of like people have been like, I don't care how small they are, I don't care if they like disappear tomorrow, but they're obviously faster than the people that we've been using in the past. And we've actually taken that to the next level with incorporating Creator and products like it into our Agile space, because we can come in and show a feature. Like they can say, well, what if we did this and how much would that cost? Be like, okay, well, we're going to spend 3 hours on just mocking this up and showing you like 2 or 3 ways that this workflow could work. And then they're like, oh yeah, I look at it like this. We think our customers will use it this way. Yeah. And that's just way faster than building them something completely, showing it to them, and then having them be like,
they don't like how it feels.
Right. Our customers would never use it this way. And the usability guys out there are gonna skewer me, but that is, it's a great way to shortcut that whole experience, is actually just showing them 2 or 3, and they can take it out and do hallway testing. They can literally just run around their office and show it to 5 or 6 stakeholders like right then, as opposed to like feeling like they just spent 10 grand on this feature that everyone had better like it or else we're screwed.
Well, and the other thing is too, is that like it reins in your clients.
Yeah.
So like if you show them one option, they're like, their mind is like, what would I change? How could it be different? Like they've got a million ideas running around in their mind about how they could change it because they've only seen one option.
Right.
You show them 3 different options, and now instead of their mind like exploding and going in all these directions, they're saying, which of these 3 would I like more?
Right.
And that's something, and again, tying back to like Creator Mobile, just mock up 3 different apps real quick, and they're all right there on your phone.
Yep. And we've done that as well. I mean, it's the easy way to go. And then we end up a lot of times, like if they want to optimize, it's really about taking a feature from one and a feature from another and bringing them together, as opposed to, well, I found this app over here that does it like a completely different way that no one's ever seen before.
Yeah. Oh man, I had some crazy stuff at my last gig. We did IoT mobile apps and things like that for clients. And man, some of the things that got requested from like internal user experience departments at these companies were like things where it was like, this is a horrible idea. But like if we didn't make it, they didn't understand. Like they wanted to feel it. Right.
So let's prove to them that it's a bad idea.
Yeah, to prove to them that it's a bad idea.
Have clients proofs that they don't know.
Yes. Quickly get to know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we do in small business these days.
I just said that. Knowing and showing. In their hand is a shock and awe of modern marketing.
Right. So one thing that I would be curious to get your thoughts on, and maybe some people out there, what do you think is happening in the mobile space? Like, our whole thesis and theory behind Ionic is that more people are going to need more apps, which means that they're going to have to be built more quickly and for less.
Totally.
And
absolutely.
The traditional native development shop that spends hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on one app, is just kind of going by the wayside.
Yeah, I mean that's the reason we started our company Mobile Igniter in the first place back 5 years ago, was because we realized that people with Wall Street budgets could very easily buy a $250,000 app and just be like, yeah, no problem. So if you're Walgreens, you're going to have an app that was made native on both sides. But if you're, we've got a local pharmacy here, Malat's, and they're a great business, but they could never drop $250,000. And so that was kind of our thesis in starting the company. And now we've seen it happen where the price point is being driven down, even if we're going to a large corporate client where they're like, we're not going to spend $250,000 on what is essentially an idea and an experiment.
Yeah.
So part of it is that the marketplace is pushing things down, and part of it is that more and more people are doing things that are lean. So they're thinking like, I'm gonna risk less, and this is a great way to do that. You can actually not only like show ideas faster, but you can show finished products faster.
Yeah. So on that note, I think also like when you see IoT stuff, what we're seeing is that a big company will have a lot of internal stuff that they need apps for. So they have so one company that we work with has like 20 apps internally for a variety of like factory stuff, HR stuff. So they have their own world inside, and they can't spend that much time and money on these apps. So they have to build them quickly, but they're not always the right person to build them depending on how important they are. So I don't know if you're seeing that with IoT especially.
Yeah, well, and it's all of a piece. I mean, it's all kind of the same stuff. Like no matter which way you're looking at it. And someone just mentioned that Walgreens has their own internal, and that's great. But they're spending at least $250,000 just to maintain those people on an annual basis. So that's, I mean, they're still spending the money one way or the other. They're spending probably more in having their own folks. Yeah, that was end of idea.
Brad Wolf shot on another thing too. He said, I found that not only is that so true, but most of these big dime apps have bad user experience and totally painful to use.
Right.
And like, it totally is true. Like people funnel money into these things and they try to use like completely new and different ideas for like navigation and like all this stuff. And it's like, you know, simplicity. I don't want to say simplicity is key, but more like just common user experience is key.
Give you structured elements that people are used to.
And that's something that Ionic, like that's what Ionic is.
I give you guys really high marks for having like common UI elements. Like these are the things, this is the way people interact with apps today, as opposed to like, we've got clients like, well, we need infinite scroll on this. I'm like, no, you really don't need infinite scroll because we can't like, no one can bookmark a place inside of infinite scroll, or, you know, there's all kinds of like weird.
How do we get to the footer?
Right. You know, like sometimes, sometimes it's exactly the right thing. If you're making Twitter, yes, you need infinite scroll, but like not always. That's not.
Yeah. So I think the point is basically the market is changing. It's compressing a bit. Unless you're the big fish building a major consumer app, I think that's always going to be. I think that's going to be kind of stable for a little bit. But all these other apps that are proliferating, the native model is just not sustainable. So for Creator, we're trying to help everyone else kind of adapt to that. I mean, that's the whole point about Ionic. So Creator takes it a step further.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Totally.
Any app that's using basic create, update, you know, kind of stuff is a great use for Ionic and Creator. Yeah, if you're building Uber from the ground up, you're probably going to want to go native. I mean, there's a lot of their interaction has to do with, you know, like the mapping of stuff and those things, and they can be done on the web, but you know, doing it with a native layer is, you know, if you're doing something completely new, kind of makes sense.
For sure. The other cool thing that like, so I don't know, I had a list of like little tips I came up with. I don't know if any of these are relevant or if we even want to talk about all of them, but like one of the things too about Ionic is, yet again, like you're just getting iOS and Android immediately with Ionic. You get both. And like, that's something we're in that sales process. Now we're talking 2 for 1.
Right.
Like, so, you know, 2 for 1, you get iOS and Android because you don't have to program both of them, things like that.
These are things that I like just take for granted as kind of a long-term Cordova developer.
Yeah.
But we still have clients who are like, so we got a bid on an app, and we're like, okay, great. And, you know, they'll throw out a number like, okay, well, that sounds reasonable. And they're like, okay, so how much for Android? And we're like, no, that's like, no, that's done. And at that, well, actually, we don't say that. What I say is, we can do that for another 10 grand, or you know, whatever, basically, and we'll put the money to good use because we'll just do additional testing. You know, if that's what they want to do, if they want to make, if they have a specific aspect. But yeah, and then I mean, it's a great opportunity to just say, yeah, that's done.
Do you think clients are going to? I mean, I see them getting used to it being kind of a 2 for 1. As more people are offering that, I think paying for both is going to become increasingly a upmarket kind of sell.
Yeah,
challenging sell.
I still see that. I still see people who have no idea.
Yeah,
that it's a 2 for 1.
It's going to take a while, but I think if you're ahead of that, like it seems inevitable.
Yeah, and like here's the thing. Like our development community, like we're aware of a lot of these things. Like for me, like I didn't even think of 2 for 1 until I read something yesterday and was like, oh yeah, like Ionic is a 2 for 1 deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's pretty sweet. Like when you go into these businesses, like a local restaurant or things like that, like you're starting at the beginning almost. Like you might even have to explain to them just the benefits of having a mobile app and what a mobile app can bring to their small business, to their restaurant, you know, loyalty programs, push notifications for like, maybe you're having a slow day, you know, send out a push notification from this, you know, your personal app to your clients' apps where it's like, hey, free burgers tonight or something, you know, like there's all these things mobile can do where you're going to go into that business. And, oh, by the way, you know, we can do iOS and Android at once. They'll look and feel, you know, like they should on each device. You know, that's something where because you're starting the whole process with these smaller clients that, you know, I still think it's going to be beneficial for at least the foreseeable near future, in my opinion.
So the other thing too is, and this is something we're kind of just starting to focus on, is there's also a mobile web portion to it, and there's also going to be a Windows portion to it. So it becomes almost a 4-for-1. But I think about restaurants, and I think about how terrible their Google search to mobile web experiences usually are. There's so much opportunity there, I think, to fix that as well. So ideally, and we're trying to take Ionic in this direction in general, is to also make that mobile web experience awesome. And Creator apps work in the browser as well. So that's another aspect to it, is you can kind of sell the like, oh, well, Google is starting to really prioritize mobile web traffic. If you have a bad mobile web experience and you're not mobile web friendly, Google's going to, reduce your search engine rankings. Like, you don't want that. So now, like, you've got a great mobile web experience, but you can also have a app store experience if you want. They're not mutually exclusive. They're just different distribution channels, and you can kind of do all those at once. So
this might be in the weeds, but what about? I mean, you're talking about the Google search engine stuff. Single page apps and SEO seem to be a huge question mark.
Yeah, so there's definitely some server side stuff that needs to be in place for that.
I think aren't they getting better?
No,
I think
absolutely.
Google doesn't Google now know how to crawl Angular apps? I thought I read something about that.
It does, and people are doing it.
And here's the thing: like, we turned on now I'm getting developer-y. In Creator, we turned on HTML5 URLs, and I think Google knows how to get through those. I think now.
Yeah, I mean, we see there's a startup here that did a full SPA, not really doing SEO stuff, not doing server-side rendering, and their search engine results are doing really well. So Google is. I personally don't like relying on that. I think it's fine, but there's a server-side rendering aspect that we are doing with Ionic 2, that Angular 2 is doing really well. So we'll try to go in that direction and kind of cover all of the bases.
Cool. For sure. Somebody asked, I guess we can answer this quick. Is there any plan for Creator desktop app? Maybe. It wouldn't be, some of that content would be offline and available. We'd still have to be able to push updates relatively quickly, and we'd still want to ping our server. So, like, even if we have an offline Creator, or not offline, but a desktop app, I think we'd still at least have some minor like server pings and things going on.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Just because, I mean, we have paid accounts and things like that. It's very difficult for us to be like, yeah, download it and use it offline for forever, and then well,
you got to store it somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So we did this with Codica, and it worked fairly well. I think it's it's just to me, like, if you're used to desktop apps, like, you'll use it more often. Like Balsamic is another example. Like Excel, like, I use these things on my desktop mainly. Slack. So if it's a convenience thing, you're using it all the time. Like, I love the idea of it. Yeah.
We just got to figure out how it's going to work.
And with Electron, it's very good.
Yeah, with Electron, it's totally sweet. So yet again, that's definitely something that we're aware of. It's on our development list. But things like the JavaScript code editing, SaaS, V2 support, things like that are kind of been pushed up the chain. Who knows? Maybe on a Friday we'll get real mad and just program it in a day. We'll see what happens.
Well, Ionic SEO.
Hey, we just got a question though. Let's answer this quick because, so you got a client, right? There's several different kinds of mobile applications. We're not just talking about iPhone and an Android phone. We have iPads, all different kinds of Android tablets. Like, so many devices now are aware, and clients might want a device for explicitly the iPad. And that is a feature that we actually launched last week, where in Creator now you can preview things in iPad and Android and all those different views right in Creator. And the other thing is too, like, Creator Mobile is available on all devices as well. We publish that to the Android store and the iOS store for all the devices. So, like, you can use Creator Mobile right on an iPad and it'll still work just fine too.
It would be great. We just built an app, and we're putting it into the store now, and Apple wants like 4,000 screenshots.
Yeah.
Oh man,
can you just spit those out
for
me?
That's been on my list of things I want to figure out how to automate. Trust me, I've done research on it.
No, it's coming in the pipeline.
What?
As we look,
this is coming and nobody told me about it.
As we look off stage.
Did you see the new mockups? Yeah, splash screen and icon support are coming very soon.
I like splash screen and icons. But I'm talking
the screenshots in the App Store. Oh, okay. That's doable.
Oh,
we've talked about
that's something where I have asked for that too. So, like, we feel your pain on that.
So you want to kind of like with the phone there with the little wrapper and some text on top. That seems to be what everyone's doing these days.
Well, like, I mean,
either or. I mean, but the thing is, you need like 15 sizes of images.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is right now, like, so yeah, and I forgot that you had to do that. It's been so long. Like, we do a lot of internal apps, so I forgot about Play Store. And we went and we submitted, and we're like, I'm just going to put up screenshots for the 4.7. Wrong. You're putting up screenshots for everything. And I'm like, do they actually expect us to like have all of these devices so we can, literally do screenshots? I mean, and my partner's like, well, no, you're just going to use the emulator. I'm like, really? I'm going to spin up the emulator like 15 times to do this? That's ridiculous. So yeah, so a feature where you could just like pick 3 screens and have it spit out those shots would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool. And actually, we should get that into the Ionic Resources tool, the screenshot generation. That would be really nice.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I think would be cool.
So
Brywolf says that's exactly why we were only at 99 and not 100%, because we had to do splash screen icons. Yeah. Oh, so that I should mention though, splash screen and icon support, we are baking directly into Creator with the Ionic package.
Yeah.
And it's going to be in the export for the new version of the CLI. Like, so that's definitely something that is coming soon. Like, that's definitely coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So Tim, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about like your process for going from, start to finish, and how you use, I know we talked a little bit about it, but just kind of rehash for everyone, how you use tools like Creator to jumpstart that, get a little bit ahead of the development process.
So on the development, well, yeah. So I mean, the big piece is because we did it for sales, and because we used Creator, we are ahead of the game, because we've got code that will literally spit out. And granted, you're going to be adding stuff like controllers and all that, but even just having a bunch of views that I can drop directly into an app and start writing our code is a huge jump start. I mean, otherwise, yeah, like you mentioned earlier, otherwise we'd be getting a Photoshop or a Balsamic, and we'd be then translating that into a bunch of stuff. And our developers really want to work on logic, not UI elements.
Sure.
Or if they're working on a UI element, it's because we're building a custom one. They don't want to waste their time just boilerplate. Yeah. So Creator saves hours and hours and makes for happier developers.
Yeah.
Which is a huge bonus, because then we can pay them less. Well, if they're not angry about having to do stuff they don't want to do, they don't, they don't complain about. None of our guys are watching this, right? Like, they're all busy working.
So have you tried tools like Sketch or InVision?
Yeah, we've used them side by side with Creator, and sometimes that is the right tool for the job, because we're doing something, especially if we're doing something that's outside the realm of mobile.
Sure.
But if we're inside of mobile, we almost never use any of those tools anymore.
Do you find so my thought with some of those is you kind of need to have a lot of investment in the design assets ahead of time?
Yeah, you have to have, and you have to have someone who has their master's in Sketch. Like, you have to like really know that product. True. If you're going to use it. And again, since we don't generally want to have designers on staff, it's not that we don't love them, it's just that they like to be freelance. We just don't have that tool on our team. So we do have one guy who does UI, but he's like an important asset. I don't want him wasting time in Sketch if he can be doing something 7 times as fast in Creator.
Sure.
So somebody asked an important question I think we should hit on for right now, because this gets asked a little bit, which is, are you saying Ionic Creator means you can build a shell of an app, look and feel, or can you build a fully functioning app? Our goal, especially long-term, is to get you all the way to functioning app. Like we said, we're working on JS coding, we're working on SaaS support, and all these features that are going to get us closer and closer there. Right now, how I like to view it is Ionic Creator gets you that prototype, gets you the look and feel, but the thing is, it exports real code. Right. We get all of our UI router code exported, all the templates are exported, blank controllers. Like, we get you essentially an app where, let's say you were building like a fully static app, then you can get to 100% already with Creator. Once you start to add that dynamic functionality, that's something where you might need to export and add a little bit of things right now, but we're going to try to bring more and more of that into the tool as we go, starting with these JS coding features for controllers and services and things like that, starting with the SaaS support and all these other features that have been highly requested, are things that are on our list to get you closer to that 100%.
Yep. So right now we're trying to get people in the mindset of use the tool as a great prototyping tool, get your app built quickly, start working on your next app. The logic part kind of comes after Creator, but
Yeah,
we're expanding its usefulness past that.
Looking at your use case there, you're looking on Freelancer for an Android developer right now. You're still going to want somebody to build your logic, but you can now get somebody who writes JavaScript to build your logic instead of like an expensive native programmer.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can just hit me up at timothyknott.com if you really want an Android developer.
There you go. And the other thing is too, we have, if you guys go to ionic.io/discover, you can find links to a lot of our community things there, our forum, and our Slack group, specifically our Slack group. Like if you guys are looking for Ionic developers to maybe take something you've made in Creator and make it dynamic, check out our Slack group. I think there's like a gigs portion in our Slack group, or jobs or something, where you could ask there and see if people can finish up your app that you've made from Creator. For sure. Like I'm sure there are tons of people in there willing to help you out and that are looking for work.
Yeah. And you'll find people who are going to be really, really comfortable with that aspect. Developers, like a developer who understands Ionic is going to be much happier working with a Creator started app than they are going to be if they get a Photoshop document.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's why there's such a big business in PSD to HTML.
Right. Which needs to go away, people. We need to stop this now.
Interesting. Any other?
All right, let's see if we got, so somebody answered a question or asked a question. Is there any way to connect Firebase or MongoDB easily through Creator? Same answer, kind of. Not yet, but it's definitely something that we really want to get you to that 100% point. That's something that we've definitely talked about and are figuring out how to do.
So I will add that with, so connectors that are more like baked in, like Firebase, Mongo, that's going to be coming a little bit later.
Yeah.
However, with the JS editing, you'll be able to do anything.
Totally. Like, exactly. With that JS editing, include the script, run, add your service, and you'll be able to use Firebase right in there if you're comfortable with that Firebase Angular thing already.
So we'll probably initially
have tutorials.
Connectors try to help, just like, here's how you use this, here's how you use this. Just kind of use the genericness of the tool before we start to bake in certain
Totally. So like once we come out with JS coding support, I will probably be releasing an official Creator tutorial on like how to use popular things with the JS coding and get them up and running.
I'd love it if you started with something that just did mock data.
Yeah,
because like not even having to spin up a real service.
Just have the data.
Just give me a JSON doc, and that would be awesome.
Totally. Let's see here. Another one. Are there any thoughts of consolidating Creator app and viewer? There aren't any thoughts for that right now. We like Creator mobile in Creator land just because we're going to have a lot of features in Creator that are more structured. For instance, like once there would be an official Firebase plugin, to that there might be features in Creator mobile unique to Creator based on some of these features we've been adding. In other words, Creator, like while Ionic View is going to allow you to like anything you want, just upload it. Like in our structured environment of Creator, we're going to be able to give you more powerful features in Creator mobile because there's structure around it. Does that make sense? Did I explain that okay?
So it's targeted at the Creator workflow and View.
And that's the reason it's faster too.
Yeah. I think feature-wise, there is definitely some overlap right now, but I think that'll probably diverge a little bit.
Yeah. I definitely think we will get further and further away as time goes.
And we're also thinking about ways to do some white labeling for the Creator app. Like if you want to have your agency, your company's brand for the Creator app, so you can be like, oh, download the Mobile Igniter testing app, and they can just, it's your stuff.
Sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
And if
we literally used to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, for this audience, like if that's something you guys are interested in, please do hit us up on Twitter or chat with me in the tool about white labeling Creator mobile. That's definitely something we've talked about.
Yes, we would love to get a pilot person.
We'd love to get a pilot person on board for that concept. So, and
like imagine having your app and telling your client like, oh, download my app. It's got all the prototypes. It's got your app in it.
Yeah, like go check out your prototype right in the Mobile Igniter.
Yeah, you could totally say them, and make part of it available for a portfolio if you want them to look at 5 or 6 different apps. Yeah, I mean that's the thing about selling to SMBs that we were talking about earlier, is that these guys have 5 minutes tops.
Yeah,
and they have to understand everything, and they have to like viscerally get it like immediately. Because if you're trying to sell to like a restaurant, like they've got people trying to sell them crap
and they've got no time.
Yeah,
no time if you're managing a restaurant,
and there's no like excess money either. So you're gonna have to like be able to show them an ROI like instant.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, hey dude, here's the app right on this phone. Like, here's 3 options. Like, do you think you'd like one of these 3?
Right.
And like at that point in time, it's right in front of them. They're viewing 3 different options on the phone. They get to pick one they like, and you can close that deal like exceedingly fast.
Yeah, and you could even like split things out by feature. In that you can say, listen, this feature will increase your business by 10 to 30%. I mean, what kind of ROI does that mean to you? Okay, great. It's going to cost you this much a month, and that that's easy math for them to do. Whereas your business really needs a mobile app is a really hard sell. It's just way too much theory, too abstract.
Yeah, sure, for sure. Yeah, 2 different. Yeah, the thing is, so somebody account, we had 2 different ways. One was almost perfect right out of Creator. The other was a handoff to a dev team from Stack. Both have been a great experience. Like, there's going to be apps that you can already get close to 100% in Creator, especially if they're fully static. We added YouTube and Vimeo video support right now. So like we have a client or 2 that's using Creator to build an internal knowledge base app that's just like lists of their internal company videos where, everything works.
How do you handle private content in that respect?
They probably just set the YouTube videos to be if you have the URL only.
Yeah.
Or
For that specific use case.
Always, the next step also would be if you host them locally with HTML5 video kind of thing. So before you write that, Matt, we are also very interested in case studies. So if you're using Creator successfully for your own sales stuff, for your own client pitching, let us know. We would love to write about it, put it on the blog, put it on the site, showcase you very prominently on the website. And also we're looking for someone interested in trying out a white label version of the Creator mobile app. So if you want to put like your email so we can get in touch.
Email. Oh, we'll do this one.
What is email?
I don't use email much anymore.
That.
But if you use, like, he was emailing me from the front of the office, like, I'm here. Are we doing this thing or not? Get a hold of me at help@usecreator.com. That goes straight to it goes to the same place the chat bubble on Creator goes to. So hit me up via there. We'll be on the lookout for anything relating to that white labeling or case studies. Like, we'd love to have you guys on the blog. We'd love to test out all this stuff with you guys.
Yep.
We're here, like I said, we're here to help. We're here to make you guys successful. Like, that's the long-term vision, is to make stuff like this a really great experience. For sure. Let's see, anything else we want to chat about?
No, I mean, we've been getting, feature questions and such. We're hoping to kind of keep it more salesy, but I guess if people are interested, we can kind of talk a little bit.
Oh, this is the good part.
We have a wild dog appeared on the set.
Yeah.
So Matt, do you want to just kind of go back to the questions list and kind of look at something?
That was the only one.
This is what happens if you use Ionic Creator. You get this kind of love.
So keyframe stuff, animation support, not quite yet. I don't know if we will end up doing that. I think it might add too much complexity.
I don't know this dog.
But with CSS animations, we in Ionic 1 and 2, we have a set of baked-in CSS animations. We're trying to add more like defined flows, so that you'll probably have more of like a kind of a little bit on Rails experience. So it won't be like a Flash-based keyframe animation editor, but so,
Matt's fast and always wrong. I have no life. I just hang out in Creator support all day.
So here's another question. Regarding sales, do you tend to go into presentations with a prototype, or do you prototype on the fly in front of the clients?
I think it fully depends on the type of client. Like we said, if I'm going into a restaurant, we literally walked in and we were like, here's 3 options. Do you like these? We can mock one up for you. We'll be back tomorrow and we can show you it with kind of like we take a copy of their menu and be like, we'll put your menu into this template and show it to you tomorrow. Is that something you would think is cool? Like, oh yeah, give that a try. And we're like, cool. It's like usually around 1,200 if you do it. And they're like, cool, 1,200 sounds good. Come back tomorrow and we'll, talk about it. And so like that, like I like doing prototypes when it's people who have less amount of time. It also feels a little bit more personal to me. I would imagine that changes with larger clients.
Yeah, if I'm selling to a larger client, I will absolutely have 2 people in the room, and if we have the network connection, everything else, get comfy. I will absolutely like drop something on them like that, where we like drop in. They're like, oh, our logo's updated. I mean, I'll give a furtive glance to my sales engineer and just be like, make it happen, and they'll be. I mean, that is the mind blowing piece, and that's where a small shop like us can really just destroy a larger group, because they're like, well, no, we can't. What? Come here. Yeah, you just want all my attention. So yes, absolutely, I'll do that on the fly. Hi.
So one thing that,
but those presentations though in that bigger atmosphere are probably important too.
Yeah, but the thing is, you like the one downside of doing something like that is that if anything goes wrong, if you're counting on doing that, just don't. Like you want to have things locked and loaded on the app, be able to show them stuff, not require a network connection, because all of those things will chip away at your sales. Yes, it can be amazing if you're like connected directly to Twitter and all sorts of stuff just like starts dropping in, but if it doesn't drop in, you're screwed. Which is why I asked about the mock-up, like, you know, being able to do mocks, because I would much rather have my data completely.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to log into something like Firebase to change the data.
Right.
It could be local. That's a good point.
Right. Absolutely.
That's a good point.
You want to have that 100%.
Yeah. So one thing that I don't know if people are quite using this yet is in the share, the preview page that you can send to people. So one thing you can do is you can, password protect it. So you can send it to a client, but they have to know the code to put in, so only they can view it. And you can actually do a nice kind of dim the lights presentation mode, where you can kind of make the screen dark, put it up on a projector, but actually in the phone frame. And that's a great way to actually show it in front of a larger group of people without having to go and run like a simulator and deal with that.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Which is also iffy.
Yeah. Now we got about 8 minutes left. So I did want to hit on, I know we've talked a lot about different features in Creator. I did want to hit a little bit just on like where you find these features and the plans that we have available for everybody. So on the free plan, you guys get one project that you can, create, mock up with, things like that. Now, if you're doing sales, we're doing consulting, you're trying to mock up 3 different ones. The pro plan has 5 different projects and access to Creator Mobile that you can view those projects right on your phone. And then the team above that is our team plan, which allows you to have 5 different collaborators. So the cool thing you can do with the team plan is like, if you were to go to the restaurant and have 3 different versions, that's something where you can like add that client to your account and like give them access to their mock-ups where they can play with it on their phone for a day or something like that, if that's something you want to do. Or you just have like your sales guy, a couple other people, like you might want to have those people all have access to the same projects. So I did, for you guys starting out here, we did create a little promo code for you guys to get 25% off your first month. If you wanted to try any of our paid plans, like I said, it comes with Creator Mobile, it comes with sharing, stuff like that. So we can use coupon code. I'm going to type it in the chat here for you guys. Sales 25 is the code for 25% off your first month. And then we will
do one on how to do Blab for sales.
How to do Blab for sales? There's a lot of stuff on Blab for that kind of stuff. Yeah, yet again, guys, Blab is a great platform. We have over 180 people watching this thing live, or 43 people live right now. Over 180 people have come through. Like, this platform can handle a lot of stuff. I love Blab. Blab is sweet. Hang out on here. Creator Suite. Use that code sales25 to grab 25% off your first month. I will also be emailing that coupon code and the recording of this whole discussion to everybody who signed up using the Eventbrite link. So make sure that you ordered something via that Eventbrite. So it says, if I and my client want to use Creator, does that require team? If you want to give your client access to Creator mobile app to view your projects in your account, or you want your client to have access to like edit any of your projects or things like that and see them like from their own dashboard, those are both things that would require a team account. If you wanted to walk in and just show it to them on Creator Mobile, don't give them access and don't let them download Creator Mobile or things like that, you might be okay with just a pro account.
If we are wrapping up here, we would love to let you, Tim, give a little pitch about
what
you
sure.
guys do. And
yeah, so Mobile Igniter is a full-service development shop focused on the Internet of Things. We do mobile, cloud, and embedded programming, and we are teamed up with a lot of really great engineering outfits to handle EE work and industrial design. So
Yeah.
that's us.
Nice.
Yeah, so the possibility to have clients download Creator to review the app. If you're talking about Creator Mobile, like, yeah, that's totally something that, like, so I think what you're asking then is there a possibility to use Creator Mobile, not have them create an account, but still have them have access to those apps?
Yes.
I think that's a great idea.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So let's definitely get that in the roadmap, and I'll see if that's something we can get into Creator pretty soon for you guys.
Yeah.
Because I think that'd be a cool idea.
Yeah.
Just like download Creator app, don't log in. Instead, put in like a code, like 5 or 6 digit code to view an app.
Or scan a QR code.
Okay.
No.
So, all right, guys. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thank you, Tim, for joining us. I appreciate your time.
It's been really fun.
We appreciate all your guys' times. No QR code. All right, guys. I will be sending the recording and the coupon code to you guys to your emails if you registered ahead of time. So be on the lookout for that. And remember, tacos are better than fajitas.
Absolutely.
But not always.
Pretty much always.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Peace.